I chose the graphic novel Blankets, written and illustrated by Craig Thompson. This graphic novel follows the life of Craig, the author, from childhood into adulthood with the themes of loneliness, abuse, infatuation, and faith. The book begins by showing the relationship between Craig and his brother. They were forced to share a bed, but they also shared abuse from their parents, babysitter, and classmates. After attending church, Craig discovers heaven and decides he will devote his life to actions that will only lead him into heaven. After the beginning of senior year, the pastor encourages him to join the ministry. He realizes his drawings have been distracting him from his faith and burns them all. But what he really wants is to burn his memories. When the Sunday school teacher is talking about hell, he relates to it to the cubbyhole he and his brother are forced to sleep in. Craig attends church camp every winter for a week where the bullying continues. He begins to become skeptical of his faith because he believes it's not possible for the other teenage church members to be connected to the same faith with the way they act. He meets a fellow outcast, Raina, at camp and is intrigued by her character. They write flirtatious letters to each other after camp, and he involves himself in the sin of masturbation. She ends up calling Craig on her way to his house, but is forced to turn around due to the blizzard. This attempt restores his faith, and he decides to visit her in Michigan. Craig and Raina drive up a mountain where they speak of static electricity and kiss for the first time. After arriving back at Raina's house, they agree to watch her sister Julie's baby, Sarah. When in Raina's room, Craig confesses to her that he loves her. While driving home from a party, she finally returns the statement. They become closer and sleep together every night until Craig returns home. After returning home, Raina tells Craig she can't handle a long-distance relationship with him. This causes them to become more and more distant until Craig says his final goodbye and burns all the items he's collected from her. He moves out of his parents' house and discovered he does not believe in the practices and limitations of being a Christian. For classroom use, I would personally use this in a 9th grade class because this is the age when teenagers begin to become more mature. This story would be great to use in the classroom to analyze character development. Thompson's character in Blankets changes as a result of his traumatic childhood and involvement with Raina. Not only do his actions and emotions change, but his faith is the biggest change of all. The students will be able to analyze why he changes his faith when he does. By doing this, Standard RL 9.3 will be implemented. Analyze how complex characters develop over the course of a literary text, interact with other characters, and advance the plot or develop the theme. This graphic novel would also be useful in teaching how to understand plots that include flashbacks, or even how to write in flashbacks, because Craig switches from present day to his childhood days multiple times throughout the book. By doing this, Standard RL 9.5 will be used. Analyze how an author's choices concerning how to structure a text, order events within, and manipulate time create such effects as mystery, tension, or surprise. This novel has many different themes that it could fit into, but I would use it in the thematic unit of self-discovery or childhood. Thompson is able to find his own true self at the end of the novel, but each scene leads up to his self-discovery. His childhood is a crucial part in his journey to self-discovery because he is always the outcast, or he is always obedient to those that are older than him, parents, babysitter, pastor. This falls into the Standard RL 9.2. Determine the theme or central idea of a text and analyze in detail the development over the course of the text, including how details of a text interact and build on one another to shape and refine the theme or central idea. And it provides an accurate summary of the text based upon the analysis. Other texts I chose to use with Blankets is A Child Called It by Dave Pelzer. This book can support the theme of childhood abuse. And then Everybody Always by Bob Goff and Losing Your Faith, Finding Your Soul, The Passage to New Life When Old Beliefs Die by David Robert Anderson follow the theme of faith and losing your faith. This book interests me to teach because it is written about the author's own life. Not only does the author write about his own life, but he's able to illustrate how he feels throughout his life. The illustrations in the novel add meaning and understanding to the words written on the page. The emotion can be seen by the characters rather than the reader having to imagine how they feel. On this slide, I added a few pages from the book that I thought were interesting. And these are my references.